thing you do is you check the bin thermostat, because that will make it not work, because it thinks it has ice full of ice, okay? Now, here's your bin thermostat, and this will kind of hang down here. Here's the chute. Here's the chute right here. All the ice comes out of here, falls into the bin. This hangs down. You can see it's just a regular thermostat. Inside there is Freon, and it just goes ahead and pushes on a diaphragm and turns everything off. So it's in this thing so you don't break it, like yours was broken. Okay, and it just hangs down here. And when the ice gets to this point, it touches this, and it feels the cold ice, and the bin thermostat, which is right here, and you can adjust it, okay? Now, the reason they have an adjustment on here is because if this thing is outside and it's a cold night, let's say it's outside, and it gets down to maybe 35 degrees, it'll stop working. It'll just stop working because it feels 35 degrees. It thinks it's touching ice. So if you have one of these and it's outside, you just come over to the bin thermostat, it's right here, and it says colder right on the top. You just turn it till it's colder, okay? And that way it'll work when it gets to those cold nights. The downside is sometimes it'll come up here a little too far, it might overflow some ice, but it's not that big a deal, okay? Now, the actual refrigeration part of this is very straightforward. You got a high side, you got a low side, it's no big deal. Now, the way this works is you've got an evaporator, and the evaporator is in here.
This is flakes?
Flaked ice machine, okay? The evaporator is that round thing in the middle. It's a flooded evaporator. And it's got that little round flooded evaporator in the middle, okay? And what's going to happen is that little round flooded evaporator in the middle is going to be really, really cold. And you see this float assembly? Okay, this float assembly is going to be adjusted, and when you adjust it, you just go ahead and you adjust this little float assembly by bending it, okay? And there's a line right here. You'll see a line. Well, that line is even with the top of that evaporator, that little round flooded evaporator. So as this fills up right here, okay, because it has a tube connected to this canister, the level of this and the level in the canister will be the same. Because, yes, because it will find the same level of water. Okay? Well, as the ice freezes on that evaporator, this auger right here will start going around, turning, and it's going to turn. Now, there's nothing sharp on it, but it actually grinds the ice right off of the evaporator. Okay? So as this turns, okay, it's going to turn and it's going to build up ice inside the middle. It's going to build up ice in here, and it just crushes that ice, crushes it, and it brings it out. So as this is turning, you see how it's going up? Okay? It's going to take that ice and it's going to go up, and it's going to go into this chute. It's going to fall out of the chute and go right into the bin. The bin is not refrigerated. Okay? Bin thermostat has nothing to do with the bin. There's no refrigeration in the bin. What makes the bin cold is the ice. There's no refrigeration in the bin. Okay? The bin thermostat, it's in the bin, but it has nothing to do with the bin. It just feels it with the ice when it gets high enough. Okay?
How many pounds this machine per day?
This will put out about 500 pounds
A day.
a day. Yeah. Now the motor for this is where you tend to get into some amount of trouble. In my particular case, I had a freeze up. See this right here? This goes right here. Okay. Now I've had to weld this a couple of times. Right here, you can see it's been welded because it actually broke right off. And I welded it. See it? That's not a very good weld job, but it's a weld job. Okay. And in here, now this thing is going to be turning, you know, like 3,600 RPM. It's fast. This is a very fast motor. There's a gear assembly in here, and the gearing assembly in here makes this go like, I don't know, 12 or 13 RPM. In other words, 12 or 13 turns every minute. So it's really powerful. Well, yeah, torque. Well, I had a...
Book said 9, okay. So this is...
Coffee. We'll get the coffee with the principal when she comes.
You don't want anything to do with that. Okay. Okay, what happened here...
That was good. So this...
How about done? Sounds like that's urgent, huh?
Walter will go.
Coffee with the principal. That's like coffee with your boss. They never have good news. Okay. What happened here, this motor is so powerful, this had a freeze up. Well, there's turnbuckles right here and right here. And these turnbuckles hold it down. What happened was there was a freeze up, and this thing went like this and tore the turnbuckles out. Actually tore the turnbuckles out. This was a working machine at one time. And then what happened was I tried to instead of the turnbuckles, I tried to put stuff on it. It didn't work. So finally one day I just said, forget it. I threw everything away except the working parts.
But
Have you ever heard good news? Have you ever heard good news from the principal? Let's go to break, guys.